Every trip up there, this guy's asked me if we can come up with some 140 proof liquor. He's under the understanding that if he goes with 100 proof liquor to soak his cherries, the cherries won't be 100 proof because they've already got their juices and stuff in.
He's right. If you use 100 proof liquor, by the time the cherries absorb their alcohol and everything and the juice waters it down, you eat a cherry and you're eating about a 60 proof cherry.
I told him I didn't know if you guys wanted to do it. He has told me he'll pay us 140 bucks a gallon. He's wanting to do 100 gallons at a pop.
Oh, hell. It would take us down 20 runs to get 100 gallons. You know, every run you do, you get a certain amount of your liquor that's going to be 140 proof. But then, you know, it progressively goes downhill in proof. But this guy's requesting a lot of it. We don't have the capability with the equipment we have to make that much of it. Column stills up the proof, but it strips the flavor.
He's loving that corn flavor there.
I've got an idea. If you took a worm like this, and you took a thump keg like this, cut you in and set that dude right down in there. Put you a little hole where you could run this out the top and this in the bottom, putting cold water in here. Your post here is going to take the steam all the way down, ain't it? And as it comes up, it'd condense on every one of them.
This customer wanting what he wants, being the customer that he is, I think we owe it to him to try.
Y'all get started on that, me and Beaz get started on run of mash.
Is there something we can tweak the mash?
We can sugar it up a little more and use a little more grain in it, up the ABV. We gotta do everything we do to try to stretch that 140 north hole a little bit longer.
Right. Our goal is, and for it to be profitable, we want to pull off as much 140 proof as we can on the first run. Come on, Kelly, let's see if we can modify this.
So as it stands now, Kelly and Mark are gonna go work on the thump keg, and me and Beaz will stay behind. We'll build us a little fortified mash. We gotta also boost that ABV in this mash too, not just the end run. All right, let's light. This is not unlike any of our mashes other than we'll probably use a little extra corn just to bolster that flavor. It's paramount that we get our corn ground up to the right consistency. A good heavy grit is what you want your corn to be at. This is quite a bit more sugar than usual.
Yeah, it is.
Instead of 6, we're putting 9 in. Extra 25 per 50 weight. We'll extra sugar it. That way we got a little higher ABV in the mash, and that should bring us more liquor to the table. Yeah, chase that sugar around in the corners, make sure it all gets melted. Beaz, I'll man that, and you pour some grain in. We'll take this from 12 to 14 ABV mash, probably up to somewhere 18, 19% ABV. Time to get the party started. The reason I'm putting extra yeast, I want it to get started early. It'll do as much damage as it can before it cools down too much that the yeast slow down.
Gotcha.
So, about 1.5 pounds of yeast, it'll take off like a rocket. Well, Beaz stirred it will. It's living in the world it wants to live in, full of sugars.
Plenty to eat.
It's gonna be farting out CO2 and pissing out that high-proof alcohol.
You know, Beaz has got this order from a really, really good client, and he wants 140 proof corn liquor.
I mean, my whole thought on the whole thing was to try to do something that we already kind of had built so we didn't have to go into a bunch of.
Well, I understand that, but I'm saying if we try to put this in it and screw it up, then we don't even have a functioning thump keg anymore. To get a lot of high proof liquor, you really need a column still, and that in essence strips all your flavor. We need column still effects, but we need to retain the flavor that he wants. That's what we got to try to shoot for. I think it'll be our advantage if we can get this to work, because the 140 proof liquor, you know, it comes at a much higher price point than 100 proof does. You're way more help than Digger when it comes to building something. We're building it with 2 chambers and 4 pipes. The alcohol vapor coming into the thump keg is actually going to pass by 8 cold water pipes. As it rises from the first chamber, it'll pass 4 of them. Then it goes over and all the way down to the bottom of the second chamber and rises again. The remaining steam which should be the purest alcohol, goes onto the condenser.
I'll tell you what worries me more than anything is with it doing a double thump keg, and then we add this water to it to cool everything, that we put so much back pressure on the pot, we blow the cap off.
The only way that it'll do that, I think, Kelly, is if we let this thump juice build up too high. We'll have to drain it pretty often, because once it comes up past the escape routes for the steam, it might create too much back pressure and cause the still to pop the cap. I don't think it's that big of an issue. I'm not sure yet. We'll see.
I bet you if it works like we think it ought to, everybody else will be trying to build one before you know it.
That's okay.
There it goes.
This run of mash, it's ready to go. So we've got to have this thump keg working. This liquor is supposed to be 140 proof and have plenty of corn flavor. We got a hose in the...
We got to get that hose out there.
Let's call the mash done.
This should not strip the flavor as does a column still. Now that's the plan. To whether it actually does it, well, hell, we ain't got a clue yet. That's why we're here. All right, Kelly, let's get her lit. Let's see if that thumper's gonna work or not.
Let's crank this on some water.
Okay.
Now, I'll tell you, I know we've got a whole lot of weight on that cap and everything, but I think it'll back pressure it. That's what worries me, is blowing that cap off. This whole thing is a new deal to us. We understand how much back pressure that your pot builds up, so we may back pressure ourselves right out of the building. Well, since we've got that bottom cut up about yay high, just drain it down enough to keep it and see where it's at.
Just to be on the safe side, we put a drain in the bottom of it, so we'll keep an eye on it.
Feel like it's getting closer?
Yeah, damn hell yeah, it's getting closer. If it functions like we hope it will, I'm gonna love it.
It's trying to spit a little, ain't it?
Well, looky here, boys.
Yonder she comes.
I want to see the proof. Ready to throw his heads out?
I got it.
The smell coming out of this worm spout, it's promising. So hopefully the corn flavor's still there, but most importantly, see what her proof's at.
Whoop it up. It's gonna be high.
Yeah. I hope it's 170 or so. Oh, hell, far. Digger does the shake test on it. It's got these big frog eye bubbles on it. They glare at you real bright, then they disappear immediately. That's what you want. We don't know exactly the proof yet, but we're gonna find out.
168, look.
Outstanding.
We give her a look-see, test the proof on it. There we go, 168.